Is there something that looks hopeless today? Something that feels like a dead end, a place in your life where you're not expecting anything good to come out of it anymore? Maybe you even stop praying about it, stop hoping, stop looking, because it hurts too much to believe again, because it seems like it's been too long, too far gone, too broken, too silent. But let me remind you, that's exactly where God does his best work. Not when everything looks bright, not when the plan is clear, but when nothing is expected, when all options are off the table, when only God can step in. He parted a sea when there were no boats. No one was expecting that, not even Moses, not the Israelites. But God made a way where there was none. He made water come out of a rock. You wouldn't expect that either. Rocks don't give water, yet God provided in the most unexpected way. He fed over 1 million people with bread from the sky. Have you ever expected food to rain down from heaven? They didn't either. But it did, because God can do what no one sees coming. He brought down the walls of Jericho with a shout. No swords, no ladders, just faith and obedience. They didn't expect the walls to fall like that, but they did. He opened the mouth of a donkey. Tell me, did you ever expect God to speak through an animal? Neither did Balaam. But God is never limited in how he speaks. He sent fire from heaven on a soaking wet altar. Water was everywhere. Elijah even drenched it on purpose. No one expected fire to fall, but it did. Because God loves impossible odds. He shuts the mouth of lions. Daniel didn't fight them, he just trusted. Those watching expected to see death, but God brought deliverance instead. He walked in the fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were thrown into the flames, but even the king was shocked. He saw 4 men walking, not 3. No one expected that. But God doesn't let you walk through fire alone. He used a shepherd boy with a slingshot to defeat a trained giant. Goliath laughed. Everyone watching doubted. But God's strength showed up in David's faith. It was unexpected, but unstoppable. He fed thousands with 5 loaves and 2 fish. It didn't make sense. There was no way it could feed that many. But it did, because Jesus multiplies what we surrender. They didn't expect it, but they witnessed a miracle. He calmed a raging storm with just a word. The disciples thought they were about to die. They didn't expect peace, but Jesus stood up and spoke it into the chaos. And the storm obeyed. He raised the dead. Lazarus had been in the grave 4 days. Everyone was weeping. No one expected him to come out until Jesus called his name. Then everything changed. He appeared to Saul in a blinding light and turned a persecutor into a preacher. No one expected that kind of transformation. Not the Christians, not Saul, but God knew exactly what he was doing. He resurrected Jesus from the grave. Even the disciples were hiding. Even they were shocked to see him alive again. Because death had never lost before. But this time it did. So now let me ask you again. Is there something that looks hopeless today? Where you are not expecting anything to come out of it? Then you, my friend, are in the perfect position for God to do what only He can do. Wait for Him. Trust Him. Watch Him. Because hope is never wasted when it's placed in the hands of the God of the impossible.